I did decide to come back and at least knock out a video. I haven't got my main microphone at the moment and won't have it until this Friday. It's the reason why the last two videos haven't had any narration on them. But most of you do like to hear me at least speak. So we are back at the Serapeum here. I've only made two videos on this site, one focusing on how the actual site, the walls, the building, which will have been built above ground originally, was built, and the other was, I suppose, focusing on the box and a couple of other things, mainly on the site itself, right? So we're going to look at the boxes. Most of the images are brand new, so we're going inside here. Well, if you look at the side walls, right, I'm not even sure if these concrete blocks, breeze blocks, are ancient or recent, okay? Well, this section here that's showing you going underground, I don't know where it is, but if you look at the left-hand wall in the hull, when you look at the tunnels, because it's a large area, there's 24 boxes in this site. So if you look at the spacing between the lines, it's not natural sediment, right? It's literally like pouring of concrete into forms, okay? I'm not sure if it's concrete blocks or if it has been poured into forms. I would say it's more form-like. Of course, the steps have been built by archaeologists in recent times. It's mainly the wall on the left that I want you to look at because you're going to see it throughout this structure. So this box here, I will be focusing on a bit later, the images, the pattern, right, that's supposed carved into it. It's not, but I want you to look at the back wall and the mass above it, right, which is built out of, well, it seems to be made of the exact same substance as what the blocks are. I know the image looks a bit green, right, but I guarantee you it is the same substance. I've looked at this site for years and years, okay? I'm not just talking out of my ass here. So these boxes, apparently, because I've never been to the site, I forgot how many supposed different types of stone that there are here, right? But there's probably about 5, so they say, whether or not. You see, I think the stuff's been surfaced in something, right? If you look at the holes, the square holes, especially the right-hand side one, you can see the line that I'm pointing at there, almost like it's some type of inner structure, right? Some kind of framework, which I'll show you on the next image too. Some type of bar work, and they've surfaced it in something, you know, like we would, well, I suppose like what the building itself is made out of, okay? Even above this box here, if you look at the wall, you can see where the rebar type framing, uh, still remains. You can see the outline of it. It's all rusted and petrified, like, but you can see the imprint of it. And to be honest, it makes total sense to me, at least, because those little knobby things sticking out there would not be enough to support the weight of a 20-ton lid, which is what most of these things weigh. Okay, they would just snap off at some point, if not immediately, so that makes sense. I'll show you a couple of more of these other ones that you don't normally see, some of the best images I've seen on them, and there's anomalies here too, which I'm pointing out. Almost looks like it's been surfaced in something, and then the parts of the lid where it just, you can see the lines where it's almost been shaved away with some type of lathe or something, but it's still got surfacing over it, right? And this main box that's in the, well, where you come into this place, if you look on the left, you can see the dent at the bottom, and yet these lines have been etched into it, and the surfacing that's over it isn't damaged, so that must have been there when it was laid over it. Correct? Now, those lines there, most people, this is one of the two things that's new for me when I'm making this video here. The etchings I've always thought to have been done by a later civilization, and that's, makes sense. I'd even go with that now, but the box that I'm showing you here, the one I got on about earlier, it almost seems to me now that they were etched in there to then chip away slightly and then layer it in something, yeah, so you'd have the indentations exactly the same as the box I'm showing here. That seems to make sense to me, but when people talk about how this could have been done, I've just mentioned lathes, and technology, there's no real reason why you would be carving stone away in the first place, right? We don't really do it now, right? We cut metal and plastic and glass, yes, but not rock, really. We might mine it to use in some type of mix. That's logical. But if you can imagine laying this thing down in sections before you put it together in the way I've just shown you, gravity, buoyancy, density itself would level out completely flat. Okay? So when you talk about these side walls being completely level, well, natural phenomena would do that itself, wouldn't it? If you can see what I'm getting at here.